Like I said, it's valuable. Um, so you guys are all pretty familiar with my health journey over the last several years, and you know that I've come a long way. And you also know that out of that season, I have a personal ministry to share my story and just use it to point people to Jesus whenever I can. But something else that God has been leading me to is how my story can also help people in a physical way, just by sharing some of the things that have really made a genuine difference in my own physical health. And so that's why I invited you guys here tonight. So there's this company called Shackley, and I found it when I was first diagnosed. And at the time, I was really just looking for ways to support my health in that season because I did not want to put any more toxins or chemicals than what I was already doing with all of the meds and chemo and everything. Um, so one thing that I was drawn to when I found Shackley, and you'll probably hear more about it later, is it's not just an organic company, but the standards that they hold to really ensure that it is absolutely clean. It's beyond organic. And those standards are really higher than anything else that I found. And so I also learned that this is a product that many Olympians use because it is so pure and they get drug tested and they have to be confident that nothing's going to show up on that test to put their sport in jeopardy. So I thought that was all very interesting. So I started using some of their vitamins and supplements at the time, and kind of in a similar way, I was getting blood work all the time, and it always looked really good, and my oncologist was always really impressed. And so it was something that helped me stay healthy during that season, and it's something that I stuck with ever since. And once I was finished with all of my treatments and kind of getting back to everyday life, I just sort of continued to want to just find ways to like reduce the amount of toxins and chemicals in my life, and just all these little small ways, simple swaps. Over the years, I kind of started using some of their cleaning products and dish soaps, they skincare products, just slowly over the course of time, swapping out the things that I was using in my life. And so as I began to explore what it looks like to share this part of my story, I became an ambassador for Shackley, and it's one of those things that I feel like God sort of nudging me to do, but it's definitely outside of my comfort zone. I can stand in front of a giant group of people and deliver a sermon, but then something like this is more uncomfortable for me. So I'm very grateful, like I said, for you guys to just allow me to share this with you. And I hope that a lot of the people that I get to talk to will be people that maybe have gone through similar health struggles like I have, or just have health struggles that Shackley can help with. But I also know you don't have to go through something as drastic as cancer to have struggles to have those kinds of struggles. And some people just wish that they could find something really great and organic and non-toxic, and they're perfectly healthy. And that's wonderful too. I think more and more people are just looking for a more natural, holistic lifestyle for themselves and their family. And just like I was, they were looking for those simple swaps that they can make in their everyday life. So if I can help people to do that wherever they are in their walk, then it would be truly an honor for me. So as we share a little bit more about Shackley, if you hear something that catches your attention and you feel like, wow, that sounds really helpful, or if you think, hey, I kind of have this issue that I'm struggling with, I wonder if Shackley has something that maybe could help, awesome. I would be more than honored to help you with that. And that would, of course, bless me and support me more than you know in return. And you know what? If not, your support just by being here tonight already means so much to me, and I'm so grateful for that. So, truly, truly, like I said, I just want to be of service in that way to anyone who feels like it would be a benefit to them. So, my friend Alyssa is here to help me kind of tell you more about Shackley because she has been doing this for a very long time. But she has also been a friend of mine even longer because we were high school theater buddies together. So we were partners in crime back then, and now we're partners in crime in this Shackley adventure as well.
Absolutely. And it's so fun. And it's so fun to be a part of your journey too, Chris, with through cancer and life and all these things. So my story is really I was just looking for a business to do in between being a teacher and being a stay-at-home mom, and then planning on going back into teaching once my kids were old enough. And so I just thought, hey, this is something that my husband is in ministry. So to have some extra income is very important. And so, and I knew I just wanted to use the products myself. And I thought if I can buy them from myself, that's great. But I also knew my mom would be, at least my mom would buy from me and be my first customer because I was raised on these products. And so I remember back in the day before the internet when we would drive across Dallas and go get these vitamins from a whole like vitamin room this lady had. And my mom swore by those vitamins. We ended up moving far away from that lady. And so my mom would go to she'd been trained, like, not all vitamins are created equal. So she was going to like the fancy vitamin store. And my mom would often say, I just don't feel as good as I felt with Shackley vitamins, but I don't want to drive all across town. And so, that stuck with me. And I had no idea Shackley was still around until I was reintroduced as a young mom. And so, anyway, I started my business, and you can see a little bit of our before and afters there. With my husband, especially, he heart disease runs in his family. He told me on one of our first dates he'd probably die of a heart attack. Great first date conversation. But what's really interesting is because of that, he was put on a statin early on, and he has his blood work done every 3 months early on in our marriage. And I thought, well, I'm buying these. I could buy fish oil from Walgreens or I could buy it from myself. So I bought it from myself. And when he went in for his 3 month blood work, just by switching to the fish oil, the doctor was like, hey, congratulations. Looks like you've been eating better or exercising. And at that point, he really wasn't doing those things. I mean, health is a trajectory. And early on in our marriage, we were eating fast food and just doing whatever. Becoming parents has made us change our habits and start thinking more about the future. And so, anyway, that was what really made an impact, is that his numbers changed just by changing brands. And that is because Shackley is very unique in how it absorbs in your body, and even how it is beyond organic, what is actually absorbing in your body. So let me share with you what we're going to cover in 30 minutes is what we're going to try to keep it to. We're going to talk about what makes Shackley different. We're really only going to touch on our favorite products that you can get for 15% off. And our favorite ones are the ones that give us more energy, hormone health, lasting weight loss. We'll touch a little bit on kid stuff, and we have a new miracle collagen that will help you move again if your joints are getting sore like mine as you're getting older. We'll talk about specials, and make sure you are commenting so we know you're here, and we will turn off the recording at the end if you want to ask questions.
So, I want to talk for a minute about why it is so difficult today to be healthy. And I probably don't have to tell you why it's hard to be healthy. We're busy, and it takes a lot of time to plan and prepare healthy food. And we have families that have demands on us. And frankly, fast food is delicious and a thousand other reasons. So, but the thing is, even when we are like on our game and we're eating really healthy, our food today just doesn't have the quality or the nutrition that it used to have. It's mass produced, it's commercialized, it has hormones in it, it has chemicals in it, it has pesticides in it. There's so much food that's like being lab grown now, which is weird. So the food that we have today is just not the same as it was in our parents' or our grandparents' generation. So it's so hard to just, even like I said, when we're on our A game, to get all the nutrition that we need, it's so difficult. So supplements are really helpful in that regard. However, the supplement market, it's not regulated by the FDA, and you guys probably know that. The FDA spends a lot of time making sure our medications are safe, which are good, but they don't spend a lot of time looking into what's going into vitamins and protein powders and the products that we put on our skin and in our homes. And so many of them have heavy metals and toxins in them. And so This is a consumer report from last year. Things like this get recalled all the time, and we buy things because we are trying to do something healthy and make good choices. And then we just discover the products that we're using are they're doing the opposite. I don't know if you guys just heard about the Driscoll strawberry study that just came out. You think that you're buying organic strawberries and they have millions and millions of pesticides in them, and it's like, well, I thought strawberries and blueberries and things were supposed to be good for us, and
Mhm.
now it's putting terrible things in my body. So there's that. It's also not uncommon for supplements or vitamins to just go right through your body without being absorbed at all. And I don't know if you've ever seen this picture, but this is an X-ray of a supplement that's just sitting in the body all the way through. It's just expensive urine because it's just not made of the right things and it's not even being absorbed. And so that's why Shaklee is different. And that's why I think there's such a need for a company like Shaklee. And like I mentioned before, something that really drew me to them is their super high standards in this area of purity. You see organic labels, but the term organic is a very loose term. And I never really felt like I knew what I could trust. And when people said, like, oh, yes, this is an organic product, and frankly, I don't have the kind of time it takes to research every product that I'm going to put in my body or use in my house. And so just having a brand already that I trust makes things a lot easier for me to know where to go. And so Shaklee goes above and beyond when it comes to those kinds of standards that they set for organic. And usually, like I said, organic's very loose. It means what's sprayed on the product at the end. But Shaklee takes a look at even more than that. They look at what's in the soil of what they're growing, what is it downstream from, what is it near, and what are they spraying in their areas. They test their products before and after. And that way they're ensuring that what they said at the beginning of making it is actually what they made at the end. And they use third-party companies that take those ingredients and turn them into a supplement. And a lot of times third-party companies don't actually like working with Shaklee because there's so many rules and they have all these high standards to make sure it's safe and clean. And there's been times that Shaklee actually even had to reject their own product because there was just something on those third-party machines that was contaminating their product, and obviously they lost money on that. But they weren't willing to compromise what they say is beyond organic standards. And so to me, I really appreciate the organic standards because that's what I'm looking for with a lot of the products that I use. But I also just really appreciate the integrity that's required to do that. To say, no, we worked with a company and it didn't turn out the way that we thought it would, and we're going to lose money, but this isn't up to our standards, and so we can't do this. And so I, I think it's great to have a company that they don't just say that they do that, but to have Olympians who get tested and could be disqualified, that proves it. And frankly, in my own life, like I said, through those blood tests, that I can see it on a regular basis. I don't just feel better, but I have proof that it's actually helping me. To me, that speaks volumes about the kind of company that creates these kinds of products.
Yeah, Chris, you did a great job covering that about like just because it says organic doesn't necessarily mean it's safe. And it's really interesting in those articles with Newsweek when they were talking about the big offenders for protein powders, many of them, I think even all of them, were organic protein powders, which is fascinating and terrifying, right? And so, but it goes to show just because it says organic doesn't necessarily mean it. And so, like, I've been here long enough to see that when other supplement companies are coming out with things like adding greens to your protein powder was such a big thing for a long time. We didn't have a greens products for a long time because greens are highly full of pesticides. And so they were looking for clean kale and clean spinach and all the things they wanted to put together into a super greens product. And we didn't have it for the longest time. And then we finally did have it. And then at one point it went away because we didn't have a clean source again. And then it finally came back. And so that really is the Shaklee difference is the ingredients that are being put inside. But then the other part of that is not just the safety of the ingredients. It's not contaminated. They search that stuff over, but also the fact that it's proven to absorb in the right place of your body at the right time. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. So it's like they take the best of nature and they combine it with science where it's actually absorbing in your body. And it's 100% guaranteed. So you could have an empty bottle. If it doesn't do what you want it to do, you really can get your money back. I rarely have people take advantage of it, but if you do, we're always happy to help you. And so, especially with some of the products like our Miracle Collagen, that's pretty amazing. So, I'll let you touch on your favorite products there, Chris.
Yeah, so like I said, I started out taking just their vitamin supplements. It's called the Vitalizer. And it has all the basics. It's your multivitamin, your omega-3, your probiotic. It has things that women need, like extra B12 and iron. And so you can see some of the equivalents there. It's equal to 7 oranges of vitamin C and 17 bananas. Like, I'm obviously not going to eat that much in a day to get all the nutrients that I need. And so it's great to be able to have that handy to have them all together in one place. And so this is the product that I started with. I also added an additional, there is vitamin D already in that. I added an additional vitamin D because I had super low vitamin D, which a lot of us do. But there's a lot of research that's kind of starting to point to some kind of correlation between low vitamin D and cancer risk. And what I thought was so interesting is my oncologist looked at that marker every time I did my blood work because she wants it to be in a certain range. And because mine was so low, I added the extra. And I mean, I watched every week, I watched it go up on a consistent basis to where she wanted it to be. And so, obviously, I would say talk to your doctor, to know what it is that you should add. But my point of that is that I can verify with proof that it works with my blood work. And then you can see on this next graph, like Alyssa said, that these are designed to dissolve at the right place in your body in the right time. That green, um, that green one is the multivitamin. It dissolves right away. The yellow is a B and C vitamin, and your body can only absorb a little bit of that at a time. So it's designed to dissolve very slowly as it moves through your body. The red one's the omega, and then the little white one is the probiotic. And I always thought that probiotics had to be refrigerated because probiotics are alive, which is true. But the problem with that is that your stomach is not refrigerated. So you take the probiotic and then they die before they ever get to the lower part of your stomach, which is where they're most effective. And so Shaklee wanted to make a probiotic that didn't need to be refrigerated. And so it would get to that part of your body where it really is the most effective. And so they challenged their scientists to create one. And so that's what that little white pearl looking pill is there. And fun fact, these are all really great prenatal vitamins if anyone on this call were to need such a thing. I'm just saying.
Oh, and what I should mention is another study. So there are so many studies proving how well Shaklee products work, but the one that I think is so unique is when they tested people who had been using Shaklee products for 20 years or more next to people using other brands for 20 years or more, or nothing at all. So three different groups, Shaklee for 20 years, nothing at all, different brands. And here's what the numbers look like for the people who had been using Shaklee for 20 years or more. Their vitamin D level is 141% higher than the other groups. C-reactive protein was lower. My friends that are nurses are super impressed by that. What I think is really interesting about the study too is just that honestly, the people in the Shaklee group were a little bit older than the people in the other groups because they had to find somebody who was committed to Shaklee for 20 years. And most of those people were older when they made that commitment. And so I find that very fascinating that their numbers were better than people who were even younger than them. So, and I know of no other company that's tested how well their products are working for 20 years, but this was a study that they did with the University of California, Berkeley, third party. And honestly, what University of California was testing was, do a lot of supplements make a difference, or does one multivitamin make a difference? And so the Shaklee group was a lot of supplements, one multivitamin is the other group. So very fascinating.
Awesome. So the other product that I want to tell you about is our protein. And so this protein, obviously, as you know by now, it's super safe, super clean. You don't have to worry about it having any of those toxins or heavy metals in them, as other protein powders are kind of notorious for having. But something that's specific to the Shaklee protein is this leucine enzyme. And that really helps you to retain muscle, especially as you're losing weight. And if you are trying to lose weight, you probably know that keeping your muscle or increasing muscle increases your metabolism, which helps you to learn to lose weight even faster. So that's a really important part of the Shaklee protein. There's a few different options that you can choose from. There's a non-GMO soy-based version and a non-GMO plant-based version. So just depending on your preferences, you can get the soy or the plant-based. Personally, I prefer the plant-based, but if you like the soy, you probably know it's super hard to find a non-GMO soy anything. They have several flavors, and they also have, just right now for a limited time, they've got a pina colada flavor, which I have not personally tried, but people are going kind of bananas about it right now. So apparently it's good.
It's good.
So, so one of Alyssa's going to tell us about some of the deals going on in just a few minutes as we wrap up. But one of the best deals that you can get is this protein vitalizer bundle. It's called Ready Set Wellness, and it's a package that a lot of people like to start with. You can get 2 canisters of the Life Shake protein plus 1 month of the Vitalizer vitamins. And if you do that, you get a free $40 product. And one of those products you can choose from, you can see all of these that are pictured here. One of them is a 7-day cleanse. And if you feel like you've kind of fallen off the wagon and you need some help just getting back into some good habits, this 7-day cleanse is a really good option for that. Sometimes we'll get a group together and share recipes, encourage each other, so you can do it with a group or you can just do it on your own. But a lot of people have used this as like a kickstart to get their healthy habits going, and they've had a lot of success in being able to lose weight. So if you think that might be where you're at, then this could be a really good option as well.
Yes, I often do the 7-day healthy cleanse right after a trip or after a holiday
Mhm.
when I'm in junk eating mode, and it just to like help me change my cravings. And so, and it's a supplement that it's a pack of supplements that's a like a major or a major, but a big probiotic, as well as alfalfa and things to just like feed your gut. So and clean out your gut. So it's nice. It helps with your cravings. So I do want to mention kids supplements. So we have many of these supplements that we mentioned you could use for your kids, just to ask. Like that probiotic, I swear by it. That tiny little probiotic, I've been giving it to my kids since they were babies, because 80% of your immune system is in the lowest part of your intestine. So if my kids get nothing else but that probiotic every day, that makes me very happy. So I have a son who's on the autism spectrum, and that caused me to do a deep dive on a lot of things. And that was also, probiotic was a game changer for him. So a lot of these we will use for our kids, just ask. But these gummy vitamins were made specifically for our kids, and they're so nice because they taste good. If you have a kid that, is fussy about taste, they even have an omega-3 jelly, which is so good for their brain development, things like that. And it tastes good. It doesn't taste fishy. So an immunity gummy, stuff like that. And then they can put their own character on the front of it. So my kids have always thought that's really fun. So just ask if you're looking for stuff for your kids. But I do want to take a minute to touch on our newest product, which is, like I said, it's the Miracle Collagen. So if you're familiar with the company Modere, they have had this collagen with their company for, I mean, almost a decade. But unfortunately, because Modere just didn't manage their money well, the company had to close its doors, but they have this incredible product. And so Shaklee bought the patent off of them. And now they have taken that miracle collagen and they have put it up to their standards. So they revamped it a little bit, but even still, I was recently on a trip and I met a lot of people who had built businesses with Modere using their miracle collagen and just heard all these crazy stories of someone who was told she needed to have her shoulder replaced or shoulder surgery at least because she had a bone on bone situation. She started using this. It's been 8 years. She still hasn't had to have it replaced. We have an amazing story here too, also about a shoulder flexibility. Several doctors told him he'd need a new total shoulder due to built up arthritis. There's a lot of people with arthritis having amazing stories. And for this guy, 7 weeks, he noticed great mobility and pain-free lifting. And so I just heard story after story of this on the trip, which made me say, okay, well, maybe I should try this product. And to be honest, I don't have a ton of pain, but I have an old ankle injury. So when I'm in the gym and I'm doing jumping jacks, it usually hurts. And then I overcompensate and then it causes my knee to hurt. So I have had some knee and ankle pain for years. And it just meant when it's jumping jacks time, I'm just not jumping. I'm doing other things. And I have been amazed that I've been jumping again in the gym. And I'm also not very coordinated. So I've realized I probably shouldn't do a ton of jumping. But I am amazed by it. But my friends that have, I have another friend with major arthritis already finding that she was able to garden for 6 hours without her fingers getting hurt. Another friend who just says she's walking faster because her arthritis just has made everything slower and her friends are noticing. So it's just very cool to hear what it's doing for joints. So if that is you, if you're having like the perimenopause frozen shoulder thing, like a lot of people are seeing incredible results. But on top of that, maybe you struggle with some things happening with your skin as you age, or even hair thinning or hair loss. People are seeing incredible results, even with alopecia, things like that. I have a lot of pictures I can show you. And and even these pictures, just incredible to see the progress for people from like day 1 to day 47, because collagen is kind of what binds our body together, and our body doesn't make as good of collagen as we age. And so this is a very absorbent hyaluronic acid / liquid collagen that mimics cartilage in your body. It's a type 2, which is why people are seeing such results in their joints, but they're also seeing it in their hair, their skin, and nails and things like that. So because of that, we put together a tester group because like we would love to help other people get some stories so that we're authentically sharing what we're experiencing and things like that. So if you want to be a part of that tester group, we're giving away over $1,000 in prizes for people who stick with it for 90 days. The reason we say 90 days is because that's when people see full results. But I'm telling you, we were going to start this tester group right after Mother's Day, and then Shaklee sold through a 6-month supply in the first 6 weeks since it was put out. So we had to put off our tester group until the end of this month. This product just came back last week. It is available now. But I have people that had started it and they're already seeing results. So it doesn't take 90 days to see results, but also full results maybe are after 90 days. So anyway, if you want more details on that, just that is important for you to know, or if you know somebody that could use it. So finally, we have over 300 products. So we didn't even touch on our green cleaners. We didn't even touch on our Beyond Organic skincare that's anti-aging. But also, if you have a specific health issue, I mentioned my son's on the autism spectrum. Even just struggling kids that struggle with learning disabilities or focus or digestive issues or hormones. There's so many issues that we would love to, if you want a perspective on how nutrition can change it. They'll tell you some ways that nutrition, as well as what Shaklee products could partner with it. So just ask if you have a specific health issue, and Chris can help you get in contact to some of those webinars. And then, as we wrap up, like, this is who we are. We are a community of women who really are feeling our best and just sharing these stories and helping other women feel the same. And there's many people on my team that are really happy just to make an extra $100 a month because they shared with a few friends. And when friends love these products, they use them, they run out of them, and they buy them again. And of course, we love to give great customer service and take care of our customers. But then there's a lot of people that are making $1,000, replace their incomes like I did. It's very possible with this, even as a side income or more than that. So it's always important to share that part. But here, we're going to wrap it up by sharing some of the best deals. To be honest, there's a lot, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but I want to tell you what the best deals are around some of the products that we shared. Chris mentioned we've got the Ready Set Wellness deal, and this is the one where you get a $40 product for free. You'll also get free shipping and you'll get 15% off. So many good things there. And so it ends up being $90 in savings, and the total purchase is $179. So that's the first one to consider when you get that free product. Like I said, talk to Chris. We're happy to send you links. In fact, I'm sure Chris can put her website up here in a minute, but I will tell you that the website shows you the most expensive things. So talk to Chris and we can help you find the best deals. Or if that Miracle Collagen sounds interesting, as well as the supplements and protein, they have a big package with a huge savings around it. You can see it's $299, but it's worth $453 because it contains some of the daily essential supplements. It contains that Miracle Collagen. It contains the protein that we talked about, but then also contains Vivix, which is a really unique cellular health product. I have a little buddy here. But all of these things you can buy separately. And you can still get free shipping, things like that. So like I said, talk to Chris. We can help you with based on your budget, based on your needs, based on, all those things. And then finally, we have a gift for you to offer. And that is if you spend $175, Shaklee has a promo where you can choose one of these gifts. It's the Sculpt protein, which to be honest, I haven't tried it, you guys, so I don't know how great it is. It's one of the products that we absorbed from Modere, and I haven't tried it yet. Or our eye cream. I do love that product. And it's worth $65. So you'll get it if you spend $175. So if you think you want to take advantage of that, like if you're getting Ready Set Wellness, you could easily add that to it, or any of these other packages. Just ask before you place your order so we can help you get your gift. Okay. Finally, honey, I'm almost done here. I got a little buddy here. We got a Facebook group if you want to stay connected. That's our Simple Healthy Swaps group. We've got recipes in there, stories. We'll teach you how to use your products, things like that. And then I know we've got a Google form for you to fill out so that we know you're here. So Chris will put that in the chat, because we want to make sure we know everybody's here and even do a little giveaway. So I'm going to stop recording though, so that you can feel free to ask questions. And I just have to push the right button. And then I might mute because I got the star of the show here.
That's
It's
awesome.
summer vacation, so,
Oh yeah.
right? Stop recording.